Hey guys, welcome to Ron's Reactions, episode 26. We're presented by Fantasy Football Infinity and brought to you by Dynasty Theory. McSpanky, what's happening? And Holler, how's it going?
What's up, everybody? A note we had last time was I think, Ron, you called me McSpanky at one point, and we'd never clarified. That's actually my name. So that's my nickname. So if you ever hear anyone say Spanky or McSpanky, they're talking to Jay.
Yeah, in the Discord. That's how I met him. Yeah, as McSpanky.
That's my Discord handle. So, but yeah, dude, I'm doing really good. Really excited to go over the AFC East tonight and put together another great episode. How you doing, Holler? It's your first time in Dynasty Theory.
It's my first time. Super stoked. Yep, I had little family business last week. Dinner with grandma. She's important. But I'm stoked. Yeah. We're super stoked to be here on Dynasty Theory, and we're very, very thankful. So let's get going. The AFC East.
Yeah. All right, Jay. How about you just start me up?
Yeah, we're gonna have to workshop that. Okay, so our start me up segment this week is players that, as the off season goes on, we're kind of changing our opinions of, right? So this particular week, we're gonna see players that we were originally maybe out on earlier this off season that we are coming around on and starting to buy in. Holler, do you want to go ahead and give us your first? First guy here.
I'll kick us off. So mine's James Cook. At the end of the year last year, I did not think I thought they'd bring somebody in. I did not think they're going to make him I don't know if they will make him the focal point. We'll get into that a little bit later. But he's the guy that I've been kind of grabbing in the middle rounds in startups a lot when I can. I have not yet go out and acquire him really. So I might try to do that after this episode or this week coming up, because he's my guy that I think is going to have a great year. So
I'm on board. I haven't been acquiring him in Dynasty as much, but I've been grabbing him a ton in best ball.
Yep.
On all the underdog best ball tournaments, like I probably have like over 50% exposure to him just because I think he's going to have a huge year this year. I mean, Damian Harris doesn't really scare me in that backfield. I think the bigger issue is Josh Allen taking away the red zone touches.
Yep.
But I think there's enough PPR work there out of the backfield that Cook will, and I think he's going to be efficient with his carries. Kind of similar, not saying he will be Tony Pollard, but a similar type of role, right? Where he doesn't necessarily need a ton of work.
Tony Pollard for you, Jay.
I do love Tony Pollard, but James Cook, I like that one a lot, Holler.
Yep, that's my guy. So I mean, I think since I want to put my stamp on that, I'm going to try in the next week or so to see if I can grab some more shares, and I'll be in the Discord trying to figure out what is some good trades to grab me some James Cook. I don't want to overpay. I think he might be hard to acquire just because there's a lot of hope for him.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the people that have him drafted him last year and they're probably holding on to it, but you never know. There could be some impatient dynasty managers. I know done that before too, where I sell a guy right before he breaks out, and it's upsetting to look back at it. But my guy is actually an incoming rookie this year. It's a guy I've gone back and forth on a ton. It's Quentin Johnston. I don't know. I can't make up my mind on him.
I like it.
Going into the draft process, at one point he was my top overall wide receiver, and then I backed off of that, and he fell down to like wide receiver like 5. And now I don't know if I'm just reading all the hype machine about Justin Herbert and his big arm, and Kellen Moore's going to let him just huck it deep, and Quentin Johnston's this big fast guy underneath. And it's funny. I bumped him up in my rankings quite a bit, but like I still have him under consensus. I don't know if I'm necessarily buying in or just kind of catching up to where he's being ranked. Because I have him as my wide receiver 29, and FantasyCalc has him up at wide receiver 19. So it's funny. I'm starting to buy in, but I'm still like 10 spots off of consensus. What do you guys think about Quentin Johnson this year? Do you think he's going to break out, or do you think he's still going to take a backseat to Keenan and Mike Williams this year?
Backseat driver. I think that's what 100% what he is. I mean, how long?
So he's in control, but from the backseat. Is that what?
No, he's not in control. You can say everything you want. You can say whatever you want while you're back there.
Oh, okay.
I'm in control up here. Don't worry about it. But I think Keenan is just the target vacuum, the safety blanket, the technician. He's been there forever. He's done it forever.
Sure.
Familiarity. Mike Williams. Slowly bringing Quentin along, and those are two pretty solid receivers. I think Big Mike probably messes some time like normal, and that's probably when you get to see your spikes from Quentin. And then if you don't see it, then I'd be pretty nervous.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's probably because I don't think Keenan Allen's going to be there next year. So I think next year is probably really the time you're going to want him. So I think you might want to buy him now if you're going to. Although he is a rookie that has first round draft capital, so you're probably not going to get any kind of a discount. But just with Mike Williams' health history, and then Keenan Allen last year missed a ton of time. There's a potential for him to, so there's potential for Quentin Johnson to be the wide receiver one in that offense, given previous injury history. So I think there's next year for sure he should have the opportunity, but possibly even as early as this year.
What's Mike Williams' contract as well?
That is a good question.
I can look that up. I was mainly going to touch on the injuries as well. I think both those guys are going to miss time. I do think QJ will just definitely you'll reap the most benefits next year, I think. So I think he will be a good spot start in those games that Big Mike and Keenan will miss. So I think like probably the first couple weeks is the time to buy, because he's not going to show out in those first couple weeks. I think he's going to be, like that Josh Palmer was, even though Josh Palmer's still on the team. I think he's going to be kind of like that. He was like, some games he broke out, some games he didn't even do anything. So I think the time to buy him, because like you said, Spanky, right now, you're not going to get any discount, but I think there'll be some impatient owners, and I think you can get a little discount once he does not show out in those first couple games. And I do think you'll get those benefits next year. I think, there's only Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think, next year I think is going to be, time for some of these other wide receivers that are, maybe are on the teams, but I think next year he's going to be pretty darn good in that. Might be their WR1, and I think.
Sure. I just looked at Mike Williams' contract, by the way. They have an out after this year.
So there you go, both of them.
So he's under contract for one more year, but they do have an out. He's only like a $12 million cap hit.
They're about to reset the whole roster. Isn't Eckler going to walk out the door next year too?
Yeah, I think so.
Eckler,
so
Keenan,
it's going to be Herbie and QJ all day.
Yeah.
Ron, do you have any guys you're coming around on?
I guess I'm just more comfortable with Jerry Jeudy at this point in time.
Okay.
In the Sean Payton offense.
I like that too.
I was kind of super nervous about where his value was going to go to, because we had all the trade rumors. Somebody's the odd man out here. I think, now that we've passed the draft and things have kind of calmed down a little bit, seems a little bit more secure for the young Jerry Jeudy in Denver with Sean Payton. And I'm a big fan of Sean Payton. So if he gets to stay in that offense, it's better for Jerry.
For sure. I think Jerry Jeudy's probably the receiver you want there in Denver. I don't think Cortland Sutton, I don't think he ever fully recovered from that injury he had, the knee injuries.
Yep.
He doesn't look like the same guy. And now he's getting older. So I only think his play is going to continue to decline. So I think Jerry Jeudy's going to be the one you want there. And then possibly Marvin Mims. It might overtake Cortland Sutton too. I think that might have been a replacement for Sutton.
I hope so. That was
I would be psyched.
Yeah, let's go. I have a lot of shares of him, so that was my guy going into the draft. I mean,
all of Holler's guys pre-draft are just spiking in value.
Yeah,
the Puka Dynasty Theory has a whole episode about Puka yesterday.
That's right. You're not going to get much benefit out of Mims this year, I don't think. But I know I really like Jeudy. I think he's going to be the guy to have in Denver. I like Cortland Sutton as well a little bit. I think he's a guy you can get later in startups because a lot of people are out on him. But I like him as well. But I do like that pick, Ron. I think Judy's going to do well with Sean Payton.
So just Jerry Jeudy, those last like 3 weeks of the season where Russell Wilson actually played well, he had 10 targets, 8 targets, 7 targets, and he went over 100 yards twice in those 3 games.
Jinkies, Batman.
I think that could be a flash of what is to come. And I know taking a 3-game sample size is dangerous, but I do think that's probably more normal.
What you're out for me and Cole.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I think
by that a number of times.
I think Russ is going to be a lot better too. So I think even though that's a three-game sample size, I think that's more what's going to come. Is I don't think it's going to be what all Russ was last year. I think it's going to be more of those last 3 games. So I think I like that one a lot, Ron. Judy.
Yeah,
thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
It's even more impressive that you didn't read the show notes until just very.
I wondered if you guys were going to bring that part up.
Well, we have to. It's like a tradition.
Yeah,
now.
No, that's you.
On the spot, Ron pulled that one out of his rear.
Perfect.
You see that edit, Dan?
I do.
That Dynasty
was nice.
That was for Dan, huh?
Yeah.
Dan, I love
PG.
that.
He's the PG guy.
Should we hit up some news real quick before we dive into the AFC East?
Small amount of news we got.
Wait,
not a ton, yeah.
Yeah, do we even talk about Tyreek? It sounds like it's maybe
sounds like it might be overblown, like a non-story.
Yeah,
I was gonna say overblown.
Wanted a quick buck. I don't know. J.K. Diamond sat out minicamp over a contract dispute. I think J.K. should probably be showing up to minicamp because you've been injured for so many odd years, and you have shown yourself on the field, but you have shown also that you can't stay on the field. So get on the field.
This is like such a weird thing for me because it's like Saquon and Josh Jacobs are fighting for contracts, and those two make sense because they've actually like produced like multiple years. J.K. Dobbins he's played in the league for 3 years and he's missed like over half the games he was supposed to be at due to injury.
And you're going to demand money.
So like, where do you have any kind of leverage to demand a better contract? Like, I don't like. I'm all for running backs getting paid, but like, dude, what? I don't. Maybe sit this one out and maybe play this year, and then you can try to get your contract.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you got to produce in order to get paid. So I mean, this will take us right into the next one. But I mean, he should. Ron said it. He needs to be practicing. He needs to be on the field. He cannot be
doing everything. It's a brand new offense too.
I mean, hey, maybe he sits out a little bit so he doesn't get injured during the off season. But
fire up the Gus bus.
Yeah,
fire up the
Gus bus, dude.
So reliable,
and you know it's coming.
Yep,
because he's not going to be in minicamp. John Harbaugh is going to be all upset with him all year long. Listen here, JK, you weren't here in camp and you weren't taking the reps, and Gus has been here the whole time, buddy. This is how the story's going to go. I'm telling you, I'm looking at my Gus shares right now.
That's a spot on John Harbaugh in person.
Bam! Was it? I don't listen to any of the Harbaugh speeches.
Pretty good.
It actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The next guy on the news doc here too is Saquon Barkley. So kind of the same situation, but he's actually proven that he deserves a contract, in my opinion. And it sounds
100%.
like the Giants, they gave him a different offer, that like a guaranteed tag offer instead of the unguaranteed tag.
I saw that too,
which gave him like 14 or 15 million, right, instead of the 12 or the 10 or whatever.
I think that's what it was. I don't know 100% sure, but yeah. I mean, I just know he did. That's not what he wants. He wants a multi-year contract. He wants to be set, and I think for him, I think he deserves it. I think I know he's been injured a little bit, but he's a good running back. I mean, I think it's give him a couple year contract, and that offense should be good.
Of the running backs, I think he's the one that really deserves to get paid.
Yeah.
Like I looked up just some statistics. I was curious. Like last year, between targets and rushing attempts, so basically every play for the Giants, Saquon accounted for just under 38% of their total targets and rushing attempts. So it's like, what are you going to do? Not pay the dude who's over a third of your offense? Like,
so
what are we talking about here?
If we'll just add to this a little bit. So if he were to hold out and just say, I don't think it'll go into the season, but who's the guy you want in maybe Eric Gray?
Do you want any? Okay, so
I don't want anybody.
I don't even care if it's not Saquon. I don't care, because that means Daniel Jones is now the focal point of that offense, and that is a disaster. I don't know if you could start a run game behind, like, with Daniel Jones is the only thing.
No, I think Eric Gray is or Matt Breida are probably the two. But like Ron said,
yeah,
if you're all of a sudden putting the offense all on Daniel Jones' shoulder. Like we've seen what he does, right?
Yeah,
It's not great. And now, granted, he does have better coaching, so some of those mistakes might go away. But
the
I just don't think
fumbleitis,
he's that guy. I think he needs
Right.
someone like Saquon to take the pressure off of him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I
Yeah.
think more they need to pay him. I think,
And it's not like they have receivers, right?
Exactly.
Or like
No,
receiving
he
talent.
can't lean
So,
on
like,
anybody if Saquon leaves. That's the thing.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, they have Waller, but you can't. He's going to miss games, and
I
you
know.
can't.
Also, real quick before we jump into the AFC East, we have a comment in the chat. Someone just
I was reading
just did a trade. So let's just do a live reaction here. So it's super flex league. He traded away Jalen Hurts, Jalen Waddle, a lot of Jalen's out the door. The 24 first for Pat Mahomes, Christian Kirk, and 2 seconds.
Give me Mahomes. I like it.
I'd probably take Hurts and Waddle, to be honest with you.
Think
I like
I
the first
want
being
the
there.
Hurts side with the 24
I think
first.
I don't think the points per game is that difference between Mahomes and Hurts, is it?
I don't
that's
think
probably
so.
true. So the big
and
difference
then
there
I went
is
Waddle over Kirk, and then
yeah.
the
Yeah,
2
and then you just get the
seconds over the first. It depends where those seconds in this first.
Yeah,
end up,
if,
right?
if that's an early second and a late first, then those are
Then it doesn't really
no
matter.
worried there.
So
yeah.
in
I think it's a fair trade,
Spanky's,
yeah,
yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, you get Mahomes. I mean, he's going to be good forever and ever and ever.
Right.
So in Spanky's projections, it is a half point. We'll say it was 6 points, -2 interceptions. So it's PPR. He's got a half point per game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like the trade. I think it's pretty fair. I think it probably will come down to where those seconds are, and if West is a contender.
Yeah, I think it's a fair trade either way. I think it's just a matter of preference. I think I lean the Hurts Waddle side, but I also there you go. He's a big Kansas
There
City
we go.
fan.
Yeah,
There it
man,
is.
I'm probably going to take a run at Gibbs
what?
tonight from Roy, and that's never a good idea. So.
Trading with Roy is
I actually I sent him the offer already tonight. Me and Mitch already talked.
What was the offer?
Ooh, it's a homer thing.
Oh, okay.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, let's hear.
Oh,
Let's hear it, and then let's dive into the Bills.
Yes, let me bring it up here. I'm on the clock somewhere.
Yeah, so that makes a little more sense there, Wes. I mean, sometimes you just want to go get your guys. So, I mean, I like it even more.
Like, fantasy is supposed to be fun, right? Like, get the guys that you enjoy watching, and
so
we'll see what happens.
I'm trading Zay Flowers and the 112 for Jahmyr Gibbs in the 201. What do you guys think?
I feel like it's pretty light for Gibbs, right? You're trading Flowers.
It's for 24 picks. They're random still, but
okay.
I was like, wait a second.
If Roy listens, I'll get an angry DM about that.
Okay.
I think both
I
of our
want the
teams
Gibbs side there.
We're probably mid. And mine, if I get Gibbs, I would hope pushes to late because of Gibbs, and Roy's pushes early because he gave me Gibbs. So hopefully, come on, Roy.
I see what you're going for.
I feel
like Roy's gonna want some more. Just
he will.
The
initial offer that Roy gave me was not anywhere near that. I'll tell you that. He wanted more than that.
Let's wrap up the trade real quick. Wes says I also saw Patrick having a longer career than Hurts. I like that.
I do.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring that up, Wes. That was that's one of the things is I feel more secure having Patrick Mahomes for sure. Just like Lamar's out there, getting dinged up. I think
for sure. I mean, Hurts didn't make it through the year last year. He missed time with a bum shoulder. So
and if it becomes if he has to do a Cam Newton imitation and just start standing back in the pocket, is that good for Jalen Hurts? I don't think so.
I don't either.
So I think he needs the run. He's a good thrower. Yep. He's a better passer than Cam is.
He's a good enough passer to get by because he's got those legs, is what it is.
For sure. All right, let's hit the Bills. They've won the AFC East the last 2 years now. Coming back, I think they're probably the clear favorite to win the East again. Well, maybe the clear favorite. The Jets are getting some hype, but I think they're probably still considered the favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of a beastly division in there.
I wouldn't call them a clear favorite, but I would call them the favorite for sure.
So we got Josh Allen here. He's my projected QB1 this season. I think where things really get interesting, right, is, you have Stephon Diggs, and I think he's whatever issues he has, I think he's going to work it out, and he'll be there, and he'll be a wide receiver one like he always is. But I think the real thing here is like All right, we got James Cook, Damian Harris there. We got Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, and then Dalton Kincaid was drafted in the first round of this past NFL draft, and then Dawson Knox, is he just kind of laid out to rest? I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think is going to happen here? Is there any values that you want on this team that stand out to you?
It's going to be much better than tight end 20, McSpanky. I can tell you that.
I knew I was going to get roasted.
That's too low. That's way too
low. Too low for me. And
listen, sorry, Holler. Let me rant.
No, you're good.
Second. You just listed off all these people on this roster. Who is taking targets away from Dalton Kincaid other than Stephon Diggs on this roster? You tell me right now.
Gabe the Babe.
Are you kidding me? We saw that last year. Everybody played that game. It's over.
It's not over.
Please,
I also like Shakir, and I think James Cook gets a lot of targets too. So before can I defend myself at least a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have him down for 69 targets. Nice. And just under 600 receiving yards, and I have him down for 8 touchdowns, mind you. So I have him a ton of production.
Who's your tight end?
I gotta be honest.
If 606 8 touchdowns,
8 touchdowns. How's he down at 20?
Because he didn't have a ton of receptions, and so in 2-point PPR,
okay,
he's only getting 44 receptions. It's not the same as some of these guys who were getting
you had him at
80 catches.
Targets.
Damn, a fifth of his catches are going into the touch to be a touchdown. Honestly,
we might need to rework that, but I do think. I just hearing it live, what I was saying, I was like, that might need a little bit of tweaking. But I don't know, man. Rookie tight ends don't always just come in and hit the ground running. Everyone's building up this hype, and I remember the same hype for Kyle Pitts, and where's that gotten you the last couple of years, right? So I
understood.
I don't know, man. Everyone wants Dalton Kincaid to be a big thing, and maybe he will. He's coming off an injury. He wasn't healthy so he wasn't able to participate in the combine. Man, I don't know.
He has one of the best quarterbacks in the game sticking the ball into his face mask.
Yeah,
sure, but
I think Dawson Knox.
It's just hard to go away from that. I just can't. Yeah. I can't not believe in that offense, and I can't not believe in the Bills and the way they've built that team. Everything has gone right for them for the past since Josh Allen has showed up. So to me, that says good coaching, good scouting, and quality players coming into the building. So at worst, you're getting a quality tight end in Dalton Kincaid, and I think it's going to be a little higher than tight end 20.
But I mean, I think Knox is still going to be around.
Yeah,
sure.
I think he's still going to be used, and so I think those two kind of eat into each other's work a little bit, right? I think Allen's probably going to spread the ball around. I think Diggs is going to get his, because he's throwing a hissy fit right now. But after that, I think targets might just get spread around, and so you might have spike games, right, where Kincaid is like a monster, but then you might have your Gabe Davis games where he has 3 catches for 2 touchdowns and 900 yards or whatever crazy thing he did in the playoffs.
Right.
I am a bit of a Gabe Davis hater, so I mean, but I do think they're gonna have 2 tight end sets a lot. Yeah, I don't know if he doesn't always show up though. Josh Allen does, but not Gabe Davis.
Oh,
and so I do think they're going to have a lot of 2 tight end sets. And I think, sometimes you're going to be able to play both Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox.
I think they'll be on the field together quite a bit. Yeah.
And so I think
some 12 for sure.
I think Dawson Knox is a good value right now.
You're trying to buy Knox?
I'm not really trying to buy him, but I've seen him.
I got a ton. You want him?
No, he's not somebody I want, but I think if you're in a startup and you're kind of punting tight end, I think he's someone that you can get late.
He's not bad and a best ball too.
Yeah.
A best ball, he would be super nice. Super nice to have that.
So I think, and I would, I think Dalton Kincaid's gonna, top 15 for sure. I do not see him being tight end 20. And so I do like Shakir. I think he's gonna, have some of those good spot games. I've grabbed. I think I've done 2 best ball, and he's someone I've grabbed late. And so an underdog. And then I really like James Cook, like I talked about earlier. He's going to grab a lot too. He's going to grab a lot of targets, or catch a lot of balls. He's going to have a lot of targets. And I really don't think Damian Harris is someone to really worry about. I think the bigger worry would be Josh Allen taking away those touchdowns. And so, but I think, between the end zones, I think James Cook is going to get his. I know they want to use him, so I think he's going to be RB 34. I think that's pretty fair. I know I'm hoping that he does better than that.
I hope so too. And I think really the thing that's going to limit James Cook is touchdowns, right? I think he's going to get plenty
Agreed.
of work, and I think his ceiling, like if he gets maybe a couple more touchdowns than we're expecting, if he starts getting some goal line carries, that running back 34 could jump up to like running back 20, right?
Yeah.
Just because it's amazing when you look at the end of the season what like 2 or 3 touchdowns can do, right? Because that's all of a sudden that's like 18 points, and that bumps up your numbers quite a bit. And if he can stay healthy too, like he'll be.
Yeah. So I think if he gets gets quite a few more touchdowns, I think he will definitely bump up maybe top 24. So he's very touchdown dependent, I feel like, though. So he'll be a solid, flex play. I think kind of like what we talked about earlier, is be really, really good best ball guy. As your third running back. You don't have to really rely on him every week in and out. But I do think he's I like him a lot this year. And then kind of like what I talked about earlier, I think there's going to be 2 tight end sets. So I think both those tight ends are going to be solid.
I'm probably too low on Kincaid. I think it's my biggest takeaway from this. I might be too high on Khalil Shakir too. I was looking at my projections. I have him out targeting Kincaid, which is probably not accurate.
I don't think that'll happen.
Even maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I like Shakir. I think I let my Khalil Shakir love get in the way of projections there, so I'll tweak that.
Hey, I mean, if you're spending your time in there, I
do agree with the offense, moving around to a lot of, or being distributed throughout a lot of players, but also I do think that the Buffalo Bills have been searching for that second pass catcher, and I think we've also all been waiting for Josh Allen to, kind of show us who his second guy is, really. So I think Kincaid could step in and do that, and if he shows us that.
It also is possible that it's like how Mahomes has never really had like that second guy outside of Kelsey that you really want, right? And it's going to be Stephon Diggs, and then
I mean, last year
you're disappointed by whoever the number 2 supposedly.
You didn't want Tyreek Hill when Kelsey was there?
No.
Okay, fair point. So like last year, we wanted that number 2. Good point.
And I mean, I do have like some reserves a little bit on Kincaid because we saw last year. I'm not saying Kincaid is Knox at all, but before last year, I remember everyone's like, "No, Knox is going to be awesome," and he did not do much at all last year. So I think, I think Kincaid's a much better player, and they're hyping him up, and so I think he'll be tight. I think he'll be more around tight end 13 to 15.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I agree. The 5 spots was what I had in my head, was like, if he just bumped up 5 spots, I'd be like, that's a mediocre rookie year,
Yep.
Should we hit the Jets?
Let's go to the Jets.
Jets.
I forgot about it.
Jets.
I'm not gonna. Jets. Why would? God, you guys cheer for other teams, huh? You guys you'll say other teams' war cries or whatever you call them, huh?
The goddamn Jets.
Yeah, there you go. I'm no traitor. Jeez.
Guys, that's fair. I don't know. I also say like the fly eagles fly sometimes too.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I kind of wish the Lions had a little like yell thing that we don't really. I don't think we have anyone.
The Raiders just have like it's like that thing they play before the games where it's like the autumn wind is a Raider, and it's like a little like spoken word poem thing. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, we have a guy that sings the same song for like the past like 10 years every time we score a touchdown.
That's neat.
Forward down the field. That's how it starts. I won't do the whole thing for you guys.
We'll have to do it sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to. That'll be like
you'll have to do it sometime.
YouTube clip.
Yeah. I'll have to get the guy because he's way better.
All right. The Jets. I think the big thing here just is Breece Hall. Is Breece Lightning going to be ready to ride week 1? Or are we expecting him to be on the shelf for a little bit?
I don't know. Why are you? Is Zonovan Knight no longer on the Jets?
He
is, but
Okay, cool.
I don't.
I
think
just been drafting him super late in drafts, and you didn't list him, and I'm like really
it's
questioning what
because
I've been doing late in drafts.
I don't think unless there's like a couple injuries, I don't think he's going to see any significant work.
I haven't
Because
heard.
I don't think Izzy Abanikanda is any good. So I don't think he's gonna wait for injuries.
Well, they drafted him, and
that's fine.
I
disagree.
Zonovan Knight was an undrafted free agent, so
I disagree with that. I think Izzy's solid.
Good.
Yeah. I haven't seen. I mean, I haven't seen any like good or bad about Brees. You know, I think he's just steadily, getting better. And so I worry in the first couple weeks. To be honest, I don't think he'll be Brees Lightning in the first couple weeks, but I think he'll play. But I wouldn't want to call him Brees Lightning until it gets back to 100%.
Maybe like late October.
Definitely.
Sure.
So like maybe late October. I don't know. Maybe before that. Maybe the beginning of October, week 5, 6.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think I need to see a little bit more news before. Just because I've seen like
training camp will be big for him. See how he does. If he starts camp on the pup or if he starts just ready to roll, I think that'd be pretty telling.
100%. But I do like this projection of RB7. I think that's pretty. It will probably depend more how much he plays in the beginning. Because if he's not, fully like.
So to clarify too, this is like points per game. So this is taking into effect that he might be a little bit slower at the beginning, but towards the end he'll probably make up for it. Is kind of what.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Because I think he could be even higher than that. So and I think honestly I would put Abanikanda above Carter. I think Carter is on his way out. I mean, they're close. I mean, it'd be close, but I mean, they clearly don't love Michael Carter. I
think Carter's still going to have like a role though. I think he's still like who they want to be like their third down back. And I don't think Izzy's going to be that guy. I think Izzy's more of a
between the tackles. And if he doesn't hit that crease and hit it at lightning fast speed, it's done and over with. I'm telling you, he's not a good running back.
Ron, it's
you were a big Pitt fan.
I don't have any. I watched the film, dude. I'm telling you, he's a kick returner. He looks just like Godwin. He looks just like Godwin Igwebuike when he runs the football. That's all I'm saying.
That is hard.
He's super fast, and when he hits that hole, he can take advantage of it. He has the speed to do it. But if the crease is not perfect in there, he ain't finding it himself. He's not a good running back.
I don't think he necessarily has to have like really good vision to fit in that offense. I think the offense is schemed in such a way that I think he fits what they want to do. And so he probably just has to just, run, make one cut and go. Right. So I don't think they're going to ask him to do too much. And I don't think he's going to get a ton of work either. But I do think he has some value, especially if maybe Brees misses like week 1, week 2, coming off the injury. I think Izzy's the guy you want. I think he's going to get a lot of the work there.
To me, it's more Michael Carter. Like, I don't think the Jets like are all in on Michael Carter at all being, much, but I don't know. I think he did play quite a bit last year. Obviously
Carter,
I'm saying more when Brees was playing. So
I think Carter's more of he's a good football player more than he's a good fantasy asset for you. And I think sometimes as Dynasty players, we get a little caught up in, he doesn't produce like points, so he sucks. But I think the Jets still like him as a back, especially as a rotational guy on the offense.
You can't let somebody walk out the door that knows your system and is a quality player. That's for sure.
Sure.
You can let Izzy Abanikanda walk out the door though if you want. He's no good. Just keep Zonovan, dude.
Just keep Zonovan. Goodness. If they were so happy with Zonovan, why did they draft Izzy?
Because he was undrafted. You don't have to keep undrafted guys around. You can cut him and bring him back whenever you need him.
Okay.
He's yesterday's garbage, today's news. You know what I mean? Whenever they need, when somebody gets hurt, the first person they're signing is Zonovan Knight, but he's still on the roster. I think we've great. You guys didn't make me mad. I
spent way too many times on Zonovan Knight.
You should have written him down.
Listen, get the whole roster for you, Run. Go ahead, Holler.
I was gonna say, yeah. Which Aaron Rodgers are we getting?
The one that likes Alan Lazard better than wide receiver 37.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. I think we're gonna get an Aaron Rodgers that's better than last year. It's more motivated than last year, closer to that MVP
100%.
level Aaron Rodgers, but probably not quite that because I don't think he's that guy anymore. But I do think Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard are gonna have just massive roles in this offense. I think they're gonna be awesome.
So I think that WR37 is pretty.
That's a wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I think that's solid because I do think Hardman's gonna have a small role. So I think that's and
Corey
Garrett
Davis
Wilson
is still there.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And
He's
then
no slouch.
Randall Cobb is there too. Obviously, that's Rodgers' guy. So I think, I think actually what's going to take away from Lazard more is Hardman, Corey Davis, and Cobb are going to be like those three will take a little bit away from Lazard, and that's going to pull his. I think that's what's pulling his ranking down because I don't think that's going to take. They're not going to take away from Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is going to get his, and I think he WR12. He's going to.
I hope so.
I have the feeling he will. I mean, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers does. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm terrified about. I know it's the dumbest thing to be paranoid about, but man,
he likes his guys, right? And that knows
and the Lazard being there is just the most terrifying thing to me. Is he could just be like, you know what? I known Allen forever. He can get 35 targets a game. You guys shut up. I'm a former MVP. Aaron Rodgers, ayahuasca.
That's 100% true. I mean, that is a worry, but I think Garrett Wilson is a good football player. So I think, and I think he's one of the better. Like the Packers have not grabbed the wide receiver like that at all. So I think he'll be more like Devontae Adams was for Aaron Rodgers, and I think I hope he'll rely on him a lot.
Do you think Garrett Wilson can finish in the top 5 in wide receivers this year, or do you think that's because like he's ranked wide receiver 4 right now pretty much everywhere? So like, do you think he can actually match the production for that, or do you think he's closer to? Because I have him as a back end wide receiver 1. I have him as my wide receiver 12 on the season.
I do not. I think wide receiver 12 is more fair. I think with him having a new quarterback. And I think the bigger thing is Lazard, Hardman, Corey Davis, Cobb are all there. And, I think I don't have that much confidence in Aaron Rodgers relying on him as much as we would like.
Fair. So we could probably say Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown,
Tyreek,
Adams, Diggs.
I mean, that's already 7, right?
So, that's 7. I think 7, maybe he could be, 10, 9, 8, 9, 10.
And then you got to deal with the sun god. There's just the picture of consistency all year long. So
Wilson would have to get like an insane amount of touchdowns, I think, to make the leap into the.
And then you still got DK floating out here. Waddle, T. There's 4 or 5 other guys that probably have the same argument as what Garrett Wilson could have.
So I think 12 is like perfect. And I think what's pulling his number up more is like he's young, so people are like, I want to grab him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in like a redraft, WR12 would be perfect.
I think so too.
Like that would be a really great year.
Like pretty sure like underdog ADP, he's going as like the wide receiver like 10 or 9 or 10, which I think is probably about right. Do any of the tight ends do anything for you guys?
There's more disrespect on the Jets roster. Yes, CJ Uzomah. You didn't list him. Disrespect. You gotta list Uzomah.
I didn't. That was a choice I made, and I don't really feel bad about it.
Gosh, you should.
Give me Conklin if I'm getting a tight end.
What?
The Jets? Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily want any of them, to be honest.
Touchdown machine.
Yeah. That's why I said if I'm having to have a tight end on the Jets, give me Conklin. I mean,
will start Uzomah. Oh god. Dude, all
right. I'm gonna pull up his stat line from last year.
But wait a second.
He had an awesome year with Burrow. Look, Zach Wilson, Mike White.
Hold on, Ron. How many targets do you think Uzomah had last year?
I don't know. It wasn't good last year. Go back to 2 years ago with Burrow.
Well, I don't care about what happened with.
You
with
need
Joe
to
Burrow.
care about what happened when he had a good quarterback, because last year was crap quarterbacks. Zach Wilson
He had
and Mike
26
White.
targets.
So
Zach
what
Wilson
about
and
okay?
Mike
Let's
White.
see.
He had
2020,
26 targets. That's like 1.5 a game.
2020,
That's bad.
Uzama.
It's real bad.
Uzama's way better than what Zach Wilson used him. I'm telling you, way better.
But
Joe Burrow knew how to use him.
okay, but
He's a red zone weapon.
you got
He's a threat.
outplayed by
I'm telling
Tyler.
you.
But Tyler Conklin had a decent season last year, and he had the same bad quarterback. So like, I don't think.
Wait, you said
And then
21,
Zach,
right?
26 targets, 21 catches,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't find. Oh, here we go.
West
and,
wants
and 2
Kuntz.
touchdowns.
I forgot about Kuntz being
In
on that
2021,
There's
when
there
you
too.
said he was like super, he was used a
Oh,
lot.
here we go.
roster. He was useful.
49 receptions, 63 targets. I mean, he
5
did have 5
touchdowns.
touchdowns, so that's
Boom, bam, pow. That's like tight end one season.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I can almost guarantee you it was
Just
not.
shaking his face. No.
I can almost
No.
guarantee you it was
Listen,
not.
if you're
No.
drafting him in the 30th round, though, don't you feel good about that production?
No, because you're
What?
never gonna start him.
yeah.
And-
Are you
no.
crazy? I did all the time when he was doing that. If a tight end has a good quarterback, I will start that tight end because good quarterbacks know how
But
to
I-
use a flipping tight end in the red zone.
But they still have Conklin there. When he was in Cincinnati, he was the only show in town.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
I'd also like to see like how much I don't know. I could be wrong here, but I feel like Rodgers does not use his
He has
tight ends
really.
a ton,
Not
right?
since
Tanyan wasn't really
uh,
good.
Bubba Franks, was that who his tight end when he was first?
No. He's still there right now.
Mercedes Lewis,
Yes.
Oh,
but still, he's not somebody that I ever was like, oh, Mercedes Lewis. Like here,
The only tight end that everybody's only ever super excited about are rookie tight ends that haven't done anything in the league or Travis Kelce. I mean, really, at the end of the day, and everybody else is like,
Andrews.
you have a way with words, Ron.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Wait a
let's move on
second.
from the
Wait a
Jets for
second. Wes, I like this. This is why I stopped this.
Okay.
Give me Kuntz. If I have a
You're gonna take the
roster,
Kuntz,
just
huh?
sign it. Yeah. Only because of the
Yeah.
team name possibility.
Well,
Oh,
first,
okay. Let me read the whole thing first. But honestly, he might be the most like athletic tight end that's there. You know,
Yeah,
so he
Could
could
be.
he does have a possibility.
part of me
you
feels
can't
like
overtake the Uzama savvy
they're
factor.
gonna
my
just use their tight ends to stay in and block more, and throw their receivers. But I could be wrong. Oh, Ron's dying over there. All right, let's
Is it a
move on to
coughing
the
attack?
Dolphins
Holler.
before we spend too much more time on the Jets.
Yeah,
So-
let's talk about the Dolphins tight ends first.
All right. Okay, well, the Dolphins tight ends are a joke.
Durham
know.
Smythe, baby.
Y-
The
yeah.
strong Jets tight end.
And then
core
they
to Durham
drafted
Smythe.
that wide receiver from Stanford that they're trying to convert into a tight end.
Yeah, I've
Which-
gotten him off the
Mike doing?
waivers.
Elijah
off the
Higgins, I
waiver
think his
wire.
name is.
Elijah, yeah.
I don't think that's going to go super great, but
Mike might be a crazy person.
we got our boy Chosen Anderson over here is rocking a
Oh.
Dolphins uniform.
It's,
But really,
does he
I
spell
think-
with a Z?
the real thing here is Tua.
He might.
I didn't realize how much I love Tua until I started doing projections and rankings, and he is constantly way over what everyone else has. So tell me why Tua is not going to be good this year. And
Well,
okay, let me preface that by saying
don't use the injury excuse.
don't use the injury excuse.
Okay. Well, Bill Belichick's in the division. That's always
Okay.
scary to play defense against twice a year. The Buffalo Bills exist in that division. They have a very good defense. That's scary to play against twice a year.
Okay.
The weather does go south also in that division, you know, when they play up north. If they have any of those games, you know, in the winter time, that's really bad for Miami, who plays in, you know, plus 90 pretty much all year round. They also
do
get
know
the
you
same problem
said-
with the Jets, another good defense. And these are all look, Aaron Rodgers, as much as I hate him, probably going to the Hall of Fame, even though he shouldn't. That's an argument for another day. But you also have who else? Josh Allen. He's got to go up against, and we haven't even got to the star yet of the division. The Mac attack.
Oh God.
Oh boy. All right.
So I know you said not to use the injuries, but he has since he's been in the league, he's played 10 games in 2020, 13 games in 21, 13 games in 2022. Now,
That's bad.
yeah, so I think that is, I know you said not to use the injuries, but it's a common theme. He's going to miss games. So I think that's going to pull him down a little bit.
Well, he took that judo class. He knows how to fall better.
He knows how to fall now.
He might fall differently.
So,
yeah, who knows?
See?
But I think he's going to, because there's that theme, right? He's averaging 12 games a season, 11 games a season. And so I worry that he is going to miss time. But I have a hard time as well because I like him as well.
Do you remember when Matthew Stafford, to start his career, used to miss like 5 or 6 games every year because he kept getting injured and he was a man of glass? And now the dude's like a freaking Iron Man.
Yeah, I was ready to run him out of town.
Exactly. This it could be Tua.
That could be.
It could be.
I need to see it a little bit more, and I'm on the train. I'm hoping that he does. I'm hoping he turns it around, and because I think he can be. I'm not gonna say top 10, but like he's like 11, 12.
I think he could be top 10.
Yeah.
I think the only way you can keep Tua out of the top 12 is the injury excuse. If he's on the field and healthy with these weapons, he's going to be a top 12.
Well, yeah, I mean, also you can, I'm looking at stats here, and he went from 16 to 25. I know he got Tyreek, but he went from 16 touchdowns in 21 to 25 in 2022 with the same amount of games. So he's got really, really good weapons. They added A-Chain. And so I think that's going to help him as well. He's going to be able to dump the ball off. So I don't have many good reasons to argue with this QB 11, other than him only putting up 12, 13 games a year.
Fair. I think injury is really the only real argument I think you can have to keep him out of the top 12. But
I was kind of looking at, outside of the division as well. So they're playing the Chargers, the Broncos, the Giants, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Titans, the Cowboys, and Ravens. So, honestly, I don't think that's a terribly hard
the AFC
schedule
West
either.
Defense is pretty trash. He could light up all those teams.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the hard one's going to be the Ravens, and I think the Eagles.
But you say the Ravens, but he lit them up for 6 touchdowns last year. So
that's true. That is true.
So I don't know. We'll see.
That's true. It is. It's at Baltimore. I think it might have been a home game last year. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's a very friendly schedule. So I have a hard time arguing with QB 11, and I think he has the upside to be a top 10.
What do you think about the running backs here?
Is Dalvin Cook going to stay away?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Right.
That's my biggest issue. Is Dalvin? If Dalvin stays away, let's go Devin A-Chain. I don't care about the other guys. If Dalvin comes to town, I'm going to be a very sad man.
I don't think they're going to bring in Dalvin Cook.
Good.
Okay.
Why not? I just believe you.
I'm not it's going to bring A-Chain down, but I'm not super worried about him. It would definitely hurt my RB2 for the rookies as my hot take. That would
pretty much kill it, yeah.
But
you're done if that.
In general, I don't think it's would kill A-Chain. I still think he would get his, because I think what's really gonna A-Chain's really gonna be more of a pass catching back, right? So they're gonna get him the ball, and he's going to use his speed, use his agility, and I don't think it's gonna it will take away from A-Chain if Cook came there.
Yes.
But if not, wheels up. I think A-Chain
still flexible, huh?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think so.
I would,
because I think they'll get rid of Mostert or Wilson or both if Cook came in.
Yeah, I think they would have to, but they just re-signed both from this offseason. So it's you signed them and then just cut him for
but
what? I don't think they got a lot of guaranteed money though, huh?
I got. I was
but
gonna look up
it's
the.
Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. If they can't get a job with Mike McDaniels, they'll just go see Kyle in San
Just go
Francisco
back to
and
San
get a
Francisco.
job. Like,
And they'll have
that's all
30.
they do.
They'll have like 17 running backs on their team.
Right, and they're just waiting for them to get dinged up, and then they get their chance there. You know?
As it stands now, I have A-Chain as the running back 23 on the season, so like a back in RB2. Do you think that's too high? Do you think it's reasonable? Do you think is it too low, Ron? You think running back 2?
Oh no, I'm not up there with how. Thank God you said as my hot take, Holler, as you like finish the sentence, because at first I was like, "Holy shit!"
No,
Holler,
okay, so listen,
Gibbs
rookies.
here.
Just
I
for
know,
rookies.
I understand. No, I understand. I got you.
But I think say if this is the running back room, I think A-Chain has a better chance to score more than Gibbs because Montgomery's there, right? We don't know. You know how they use Jamal Williams. I mean, come on. I know Gibbs is a much different running back than Swift was, right? So, but let's not get too worked up on the Lions. We're talking about the Dolphins.
They could be close, but
I
I like A-Chain quite a bit. So if we can avoid Dalvin Cook signing in Miami, give me all of the Devin A-Chains.
I agree.
I love me some A-Chain. Let's see what
Holler. Those are good points as to why why you would have him over, or A-Chain over Gibbs. Blah blah blah. But like, it's just not gonna happen.
Should we? All right, Ron. Do you want to wax poetic about your boy Mac Jones here for a second?
Listen,
I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk
you're
about Mac Jones.
way too low at quarterback 29. First of all, show the man some respect. Good Lord.
Show me some talent.
He did. He put him over.
He has talent.
He put him over 3.
He's only over
3 other quarterbacks.
Only over like Baker, Trask, and they're all on the same damn team. That's not fair.
So to be fair, this is based on points per game. So guys like Tannehill and Levis, who I have projected to play multiple games, and like Purdy and I think Trey Lance, but that's before the Trey Lance thing blew up. But so some of those guys pushed him down in terms of like total points. He's probably more like QB like 26.
Okay, I think you're pretty low there. I think honestly he bumps back up to the middle of the road, guys. I think having a competent offensive coordinator is going to work wonders for Mr. Mac Jones.
I'm sure it will, but I still don't like even his rookie year when he had a good coordinator. Like,
let's go back. Let me pull
up
some Mac.
I mean, I'm not trying to tout Mac as this world beater.
Here's my thing with Mac Jones.
If you're going to go pay for a young quarterback, like they're talking about going to pay for freaking Kenny Pickett.
So
Kenny Pickett's not even a good quarterback. Mac Jones can operate an offense at least.
Here's my thing. Who is he throwing the ball to? He's not a quarterback that can really like elevate the talent around him. He needs wide receivers around him. And like I've seen enough of Juju Smith-Schuster. He's not that guy.
No.
I've seen enough of Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki. They're not that guy. Like,
listen.
He needs the Andre Hopkins.
Listen, he says
like bad. Like he really needs the Andre Hopkins.
B.O.B. is in town. I agree.
But they have Ty
something
Montgomery
else there to help him.
Yeah,
dude, Ty Montgomery's going to crush, and I'm going to hate it. But seriously, I really think that Mac Jones at 29 is pretty low for him. I think he boosts back up into mediocrity, and he sits. I
don't think this offense is going to be good, and I think they're gonna be content to just run Ramondre Stevenson into the ground and try to play good defense. And then
I think it might be like
that's fair because it's Bill Belichick
from last year.
That's fair, but I disagree. All fair points, but I disagree.
All fair points, but you're wrong.
But you're wrong.
I mean,
look, you probably trade Daniel Jones and get you a bunch of Mac Jones right now, I'd guess, because of his rushing upside. Well, when he's fumbling the ball 3 times a game and chucking up picks. What are you looking at me like?
Wait, so you have those guys close?
No, I do. I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
Either.
We had this conversation in our.
You want to know
DM,
who's just above? You want to know who's just above them in my tiers?
Oh, Lord.
Jared Goff.
Okay, Jared Goff should be ahead of both those guys. Well, maybe not. Daniel
just
Jones.
Above them.
Maybe not Daniel Jones.
I don't think above Daniel.
You want to know
Jones.
who's just above them? Kirk Cousins. This is my tier of mediocrity. Is what I call this.
Do you have all those 4 guys in the same tier?
Yes, because they're all mediocre quarterbacks that can be set into offenses and operate them functionally.
Hold on.
What is that? What?
You
What?
have
What?
okay, hypothetical here, real quick, because this is
Yes.
important. Let's say we play in a 12-team Superflex league. You have these guys in the same tier. Let's say I have Mac Jones and you have Kirk Cousins. I offer you them just straight up to each other. Are you accepting that trade?
No, because I want a plus.
Okay. What's my plus? What if I give you a second on top of Mac Jones?
Where's the second going to be? Because if it's a late second, why am I wasting my time?
I don't know. Let's say it's pick 7 to 207 to 210, somewhere in that range.
No, that's a second. That's worthless to me. Okay. You want to go mid or higher?
I'm just curious because you said you had them in the same tier, so I'm just curious.
I did.
Yeah. Then
what is moving within the tier like? What do you need for them?
A mid or higher second.
Okay.
There's no need. There's no reason for me to do it for anything less. For me to move anywhere, because at that point it's just
interesting.
Waste of time for these late two. What are you interested in me about? You're gonna go look and see where you got some Mac Jones. But you don't have any because you hate the man.
I probably have like
me and Cole,
3 shares.
Me and Cole are taking this whole Discord down with Mac. I tell you what.
That's fine.
Return to the Mac.
Return to the Mac.
Hey, I actually do have. I have exactly 3 shares of Mac Jones.
Wow.
And one of them is because I took over as an orphan, so I really only get 2.
I think what really hurts Mac Jones is, I think we've talked about it already, but it's just
Mac Jones,
himself. But then it's just they don't have anybody outside of. I mean,
no one.
Even Juju's not very good.
So I don't the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Outside of Ramondre Stevenson, I don't want any part of this offense. Yeah. Other than I'll take a dart throw on Hunter Henry in a best ball tournament.
I think the reason, I don't think this offense is going to be superstar offense by any stretch of the means, but the values on all of these guys are so far depressed. I feel
they're bad.
I don't think they're as bad as what everybody thinks they are.
No,
I think once B.O.B. comes to town and runs a competent flipping offense, and they can actually stay on the field for more than 4 downs, because Matt Patricia's an idiot, you'll see that they can actually play football because it's the damn Patriots. They've been doing it for 20 years.
I get that. I really think they're going to be in so many low scoring games, under 20 points, because their defense is really good. And they're just going to run the ball.
Yep.
And so there's not going to be a ton of touchdowns to go around. And it's the yardage might be okay, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns to go around. And that's going to severely hamper all of their production.
So I know there's a 3-game difference here, but last year, or 2021, Mac Jones threw for 3,800 yards. Last year, he threw for, we'll just call it 3,000 because it was 2,997. So 3-game difference, but
and he got benched for Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, so I just worry. I think he's.
It's not even a competition with Bailey Zappi. The beat writer said it was a joke that it was even a thing.
Well, I know.
He said that Zappi didn't look like a quarterback.
If you played poor enough that you got benched for Bailey Zappi, it doesn't exactly bode well for your long-term
future. Did he have
a
piss poor attitude? Sure. Go ask Darius Slay about his piss poor attitude with Matt Patricia in Detroit. Go ask Quandre Diggs about it too.
It always comes back to Detroit.
Matt Patricia's a cancer.
Yeah, it does.
I know. This because Matt Patricia was here, though. I had to bring it there. Listen, Matt Patricia, as the offensive coordinator, had to be hell. Just because of the stories I've heard about people that have had to deal with Matt Patricia. I've read the flipping stories because he was a coach in Detroit. Listen, he rubs people the wrong flipping way. And if Mac Jones is out there pissing and moaning all day long, nobody's going to play football good. Nobody wants to play for that dickhead.
We got a Mac Jones lover.
B.O.B. is bringing this shit back. Let's go.
I think before Ron blows a head gasket, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, well, to wrap this up, I mean, I just there's not enough weapons for Mac Jones to be better than QB. I mean, any better than QB 24, right? So I do know those per game numbers are dropping him down to 29, but he's not somebody I'm I don't feel good about him if he's my QB 2, which I have.
They have to keep up with Buffalo and Miami.
Yeah, they do, but
that's 4 games out of their year.
Played. They've gotten blown out.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can't score.
B.O.B. wasn't there.
All right. I think you might be putting too much faith in B.O.B.
Yeah. I'm just talking improved offense.
I think if D-Hop shines there, I think maybe that brings Mac up a little bit. But
and it's way too late at that point. You guys will be too late. If D-Hop shows up there, it'll be too late. I'm telling you.
I still don't want him as my QB 2. Oh, God. You're not going to win.
You can get him as your quarterback 3.
Yeah, but
I'm just talking having Mac on your roster is just security for me. I don't think Mac's any sort of a
burning a
maker.
roster spot.
Yeah.
You burn a roster spot
Because he's
freaking
not providing you any value. You're never going to feel good about starting him.
I'm gonna feel good about starting him if I got a championship roster and my quarterback.
If you have a
damn
championship
quarterback,
roster,
my quarterback spot.
If you have a championship roster and you're counting on Mac Jones, you don't have a
I'm not
championship
counting on
roster.
it. What if he's my quarterback 3? What if he's my
You
quarterback
still-
3? Josh
you-
Allen gets hurt.
Then you're screwed.
Then
I
you're
feel like one of my teams is solid, but my big hole is my QB2 because I have Jordan Love, Mac, and Desmond Ridder. I feel terrible about it. I have Trevor
Why?
Lawrence
You
as
got,
my first
you got
one.
Mac and Desmond Ritter. I wouldn't feel great
Oh,
about Jordan
gosh.
Love.
I don't feel good
I
about
feel better
any
about
of those
Jordan Love
three.
than any of those other ones.
I
Yeah.
would feel terrible about it.
All right. We're gonna wrap this up before we get too far in the weeds.
The Packers?
Here, We'll be back. We'll be back next week, same time next week. Thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.